Ladies, unlock the cash value in your jewelry box. Sell your gold on Dale Road. We buy gold jewelry, bent or broken, at Eufaula Flea Market, 354 Dale Road.
Sell your gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road. Mr. Pond buys gold on Dale Road. Mr. Pond buys gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road.
Welcome to the Coach's Corner. And Coach Moore, I've said it before, you got a big smile. Wonder why?
It's another good week. Good week. A big road victory and a big region win. So it's an exciting time.
There were a lot of big things associated with that game. Big score, just like you said. Played in a big stadium. And it's going to be bigger after this year, I understand.
Yeah, it was neat to play there. Our kids have played in Troy Stadium before, but it was a good experience for them. And again, to produce and to play well was outstanding.
When you look at everything and you start with the first quarter, Tigers looked good, did a good job. Got a little edgy there around the second quarter, but then after halftime, you must have had one heck of a speech.
Well, we started fast, up 14-0 early, and then we let them. We gave them a short field, and they scored. We gave up some big plays, and our defense kind of had some misalignments, and we had to get it corrected. And I tell you what, give them credit. I mean, Charles Henderson played as well as they could right there in that second quarter. I mean, they had some things happen, some throws. I mean, I know that we got beat on a couple of deep balls, but they were incredible ball. I mean, our kids in position, he just couldn't make a play. I mean, they put it exactly where they needed to, and their little 10th grade quarterback played well right there for a stretch. But luckily, offensively, we kept scoring too. We did not want that to be a track meet. I never dreamed that it'd be 33-28 at halftime. But again, they really did a good job and found some things. And I said last Monday they were well coached and they did a good job. They kept their kids in the game. And but then we kind of overwhelmed them in the second half, and our run game stayed consistent the whole time. And so that was really exciting to see us continue to respond even when they had some good things happen.
You talked about your run game. Boy, having Jay back had to be an incredible boost.
Yeah, I mean, he's a difference maker, and he's a good football player. And I said this Friday night, he's a college football player, and I hope somebody will give him a chance. Because he's been banged up, and he wasn't 100% Friday night. There were some times where you could see him kind of go down and protect himself a little bit, but he had a touchdown called back, and otherwise he'd have been 4 touchdowns and 300+ yards rushing. So I don't know what the records are here or any of that kind of stuff, but he had a really good night.
Have you ever seen a better first half?
No.
I mean, 210 or so yards.
No, I haven't. I mean, he started so fast, and give credit. Up front, our offensive line had some times where they opened up some big holes, and sometimes Jay went through untouched, and a lot of it was Jay, him making yards. But again, our offensive line I thought played well. Of course, we got still things we need to improve on, but I was proud of them, proud of our coaches, Coach Johnson, Coach Gilmore, Coach Reagan, Coach Clements. Those guys did a good job and Coach Williams seeing some things offensively too that helped me throughout the game. And we're starting to, now that we've all been in the same system for a while, 6 months or so since last spring, we're all starting to figure out, what the answers are to what the defense is giving us. And so I'm getting some really, really good information from the top, and it's helping. You can see us gelling, I think, as a coaching staff as well. But ultimately, the kids played really good offensively, and it was exciting to see us run the football the way we did.
When you look at the game and you look at the different elements of the game, which you think did better, offense or defense, or equally?
Well, barring 4 drives, our defense played well, and that you can't say that. I mean, you can't say, well, take away 4 drives and we played good. You can't say that. But besides those, it's the same deal. We'll go I think my possession deal here, they went 3 possessions in a row, 2 punts and a turnover on downs to start the game. And again, we got off to a fast start. But then 4 of the next 5 drives are touchdown drives for them. And so we've got to find a way to put our finger on it, to play more consistent. Because then at the end of the game, they really didn't do anything in the second half. Now they only had the ball twice in the second half. We were able to keep the ball, and then we kicked the ball off of one of their frontline guys on our kickoff, and got it, recovered it, and so got us another possession. But we just got to find a way to limit some of those, times where we have these lapses defensively, and we're working on it, and we're getting better. I mean, all was not lost defensively. We got in at halftime and made some adjustments and got something. And Kyle and I were talking about Friday night. It wasn't we had to go and fix things. We just had to get back to what we had practiced. We just had some misalignments, and defensively, if you have one guy misaligned, especially as good as they are offensively and the weapons they have offensively, it's going to show, and it's going to end up in a touchdown.
Looking at the onside kick, that was not expected by anybody.
No, and it wasn't. I mean, we were trying to squib it. I mean, we hammered it down through there, and if we hit a front line, we've done it twice this year. It's okay. I tell him, if you hit one of them, that's okay. The ball bounces way off of him. This happened twice, and but he's trying to squib it and prevent a big return because they had some athletes in the back. They gave us some problems. So.
Well, I know that it was exciting, at least to be a spectator during this game. Looking at the way you scouted them with the film, did you get what you expected when you got there, or any surprises?
Yeah. I mean, good coaches don't change a bunch week to week. Yes, you make adjustments and you do those things, but you don't reinvent it. You don't redo things. Ultimately, we're going to do what we believe in for this game going forward, and Charles Henderson was no different for us this past week. I mean, they did what they believe in. A couple of little things they gave us, but nothing that was really unexpected. Again, our biggest issues defensively were misalignments, and that's a discipline thing. And so again, to be really satisfied, we're not. I mean, we're not satisfied where we were Friday night. We thought we could have played better on that side. And then, of course, offensively, there were things, too, that we need to do better and we're going to improve on. And we're better going into this week. But yeah, I mean, not a bunch of difference, after, we got 4 or 5 films on different people. I mean, you're going to get pretty much what you see on film. You just got to figure out how to defend it, and you got to line up properly to do that.
When you look at the game, now that it's over with, you're going, phew. How's this going to affect this next game? We've got a tough opponent this week. Yeah,
I mean, I told the kids before the game, and it's true, that this group of seniors has never won big. They've never won, they never hosted a playoff game throughout their high school career. They've never, even when they were in middle school, they were a 500 team, and I think, some people might think we shouldn't talk about that, but I think that's okay. We have to learn how to win. And I told them Friday night was a huge start in doing that. That was a big game on the road. Charles Henderson is a tradition-rich program. They have good players. They're struggling a little bit this year. But they're better than their record indicates. I can promise you that. I mean, you could see that offensively of what they did to us against a good defensive football. We're a top 10 defensive football team in 5A, and they were able to score 4 out of the 5 possessions into the first and second quarter. So they're a good football team, but for us to win that on the road and the way that we responded after halftime to come out and really dominate the second half of that game, I don't know what the numbers were. I mean, I know it was 14-0 on the scoreboard, which was the biggest part, but as far as the yardage and all, I don't know. They maybe made 1 or 2 first downs. They really didn't do a whole bunch in the second half at all. And so I was proud of our kids. They only ran 12 total plays in the second half. So that, we ran, I think, 30. So that, those are dominating numbers, and that's what we needed to do. But now we know how to win. And so all that's over with. All that, we're 6-1, and we've won enough now to say that we can be confident going into the game against Greenville. But it's going to be really exciting. It really shapes up to be a good 5A football game for a region championship here, and I'm obviously glad it's at home.
Eufaula Glass and Construction Company, LLC, has been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Install shower doors, mirrors, new windows, replacement windows, screens, storm windows, and doors. We build cloth awnings and aluminum canopies. Need a new storefront for your business? Call a company that can take care of all of your glass needs, including automotive glass. Located at 121 Inlet Road. Call 687-2471. Emergency after-hours service available.
When you look at them at the 5A championship game, they're going to bring their A game. There's no doubt about it. What should we look as differences to other teams that we've played in Greenville?
Well, I mean, they're similar. They're athletic. They're huge at wide receiver. They've got a couple of 6'3" plus wide receivers. 6'5" is the biggest one. So that is obviously a challenge. They've got a big running back, a 200-pound running back that's a thumper. You know, he's a downhill runner. We haven't seen that a whole bunch. We've seen a lot of shifty guys and slashers, but to have a big back that comes downhill, that's tough. They've got a big offensive line. They've got a big left tackle that I think is a college player, a good one. Their quarterback is growing up. I mean, he's a junior now, and this is his first year starting. But after you play 8-9 games, I mean, you're a veteran now. You've been in the wars. You understand how to play it. And then defensively, obviously, they've got the big defensive end, Marlon Davidson, who I have experience with. He was at Carver and in Montgomery, and we played them at Opelika. And so I know a lot about him. But he's the number one player in the country in some recruiting websites, and that's a big deal. I mean, you don't get those type of accolades without being really special, and he's special. He's special. He's different. When you see him, he looks different than normal 18-year-old kids do. But they have a lot of other athletes around him. Defensively, they've got some experience back at linebacker. They've got two safeties that are quality kids. Their defensive backs are as good as anybody we played this year. And they're 7-8-0, whatever they are, for a reason. They're number 4 in 5A for a reason. They're a good football team. But at the same time, we're good too. We have a good football team here too. And so as far as advantages, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a clue. I mean, seeing them on film, they're very similar to us. In their athletes and the schemes that they run, especially offensively, they are very, very similar to what we do, playing a fullback and a tailback and really trying to run the football. But it's going to be a good game. I know that they'll bring a big crowd. I know that we'll have a big crowd here. But this is why you coach and play. I mean, for games like this, you want to put yourself in these positions. And yeah, there'll be a little anxiety going in the game, and there'll be some nervousness to all of us. I mean, if you're human, you're going to be a little bit nervous about the game, but it's so much fun. Win or lose, I mean, it's going to be a blast, and I know that our kids will play well. After what happened Friday night, I have confidence in our guys that they're ready now. I said last week I didn't think we were ready going into Benjamin Russell to play in that game. I just didn't. I didn't think we were ready to do that at that point, but I do. I feel like we can play in those types of games now, and that's what Greenville's going to pose, a game just like that. A physical football game with a team that's well coached, and they have a first-year coach too, but they're well coached. They're doing a great job, and again, they give us some threats that we haven't seen outside with their receivers. But I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun Friday.
When you're looking at this height disadvantage we were talking about at the first of this answer, what do you tell our guys when those situations? How do you defend against that height?
Well, we have techniques that we use, and Coach Smith and Coach Mock back there in the back have talked, and in our meetings yesterday we obviously addressed it, and we also from a scheme standpoint better not leave a guy out there by himself a lot. With that guy, we need to have a safety over the top to help, and we'll accommodate for those guys the best way we can. Now, ultimately, he's 6'5", and we're not. But you got to make plays and you got to figure out how to break up the ball in certain ways, but yeah, we'll accommodate for him in different ways.
When you have a 6'5", the person that's going to have to work against him, what's his height?
Our corners are about 5'11", 5'10", so that's normal.
Yeah.
That's what you see every Saturday. You see 6'3" on 5'10". You see it in college, you see it in high school. So those guys are used to being smaller. That's not something that's uncommon. We've got a couple of receivers that are over 6 feet tall, so they're. It's not it's not going to be anything groundbreaking for them. They're not covering people their height, so they're used to that.
Playoff scenario, win, lose.
Yeah, we'll host.
You're hosting no matter what.
We'll host. We're locked in as a. I mean, barring any kind of crazy, I don't think it could be. Like I said, I try not to get into too deeply. But what happened? Lanier played Greenville close Friday, but with the Greenville's win, it's an outright championship game this Friday because both teams are undefeated in the region. It'll be an outright championship game because even if both of us lost the next week, the head-to-head would win the region championship. So that's what it's going to be. Now, with us defeating Charles Henderson and Lanier losing to Greenville, the loser's going to still play at home. So this is for 1 and 2 seeding this Friday. So it's outright again, and it's cleaner that way. You know, that was what some of my guys like. We were all thinking that same thing because again, Lanier did play Greenville close, but you know, it was better that Greenville won. Just it's cleaner. You know, the playoff picture is cleaner.
What region do you play?
We'll match up with Region 4, which is Demopolis, Helena, Calera, Dallas County, that area or that region. That'll be who we match with. We got some good teams, but again, that's it's a ways away, and we got a lot to do.
Leave that to us to talk about.
That's right. That's right. But no, you have to think about it. I mean, obviously, again, you have to think about it, and you have to, but again, that was big for our kids last Friday to go ahead. And like I said, every week now it's just kind of bumping up the seeding, and that's what we've done in the past because we beat Booker T, we're in the playoffs, and then beat Charles Henderson, now we're a 2 seed at worst, and then, play for the region championship Friday.
When you look at all this, and there's got to be a lot of mental attitude that the players have. Are our players growing mentally in their confidence level?
Yeah, I mean, they're confident. I think, again, Friday went a long way with that because there's no substitute for winning. You need to win to learn how to win. And we've won different ways this year, too. We've won big. We've won some games offensively. Like Friday, we played well offensively, and that really, I think, helped us win the game, and then vice versa against Rehoboth, we did not play well offensively, and our defense shut them out. And so we've won different ways. That's the sign of a championship team because, you're going to have off nights here and there. And that's what I told our coaches yesterday. I said, we can't expect to score 47 points against good teams. I mean, we just can't. And Greenville, besides Benjamin Russell, is the best defensive football team we've played. And so, we're going to have to hang in there defensively and be consistent there. And, our coaches were a little discouraged about how we played defensively. They expect, to shut people out. They expect to keep people off the scoreboard. And so they went back to work and just figured out some things. And again, we're still growing. We're still growing with our confidence. We're still growing with our consistency. And so we need to be really, really consistent this week. We need everybody there every day. We need to be healthy. We are for the most part. I mean, again, having Jay back was a sign of that. And he'll get better and better. I mean, again, he's not full go yet, which is pretty crazy to say to have that kind of night.
That was just a cramp, though, according to the game.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that turf finally got it.
Everybody was worried that from the Eufaula side that I was sitting around that, oh no, he's hurt that ankle again.
Right. No, he was just cramping. I mean, he had 24 carries on that turf.
Yeah.
That was, and we didn't expect to run him that much. But of course, we ran it 61 times in the game, which is, usually you have about 60 plays. So to run it that many times that's a whole bunch.
With the idea that we're talking about an indoor practice facility, and it's going to be natural turf, is that going to help?
I think so. I think your body gets used to playing on turf. I know that when we went up this summer to the 7-on-7 at Opelika with our freshmen, our kids were, looking at the turf and kind of figuring it out, but I'm used to it. And so, you get used to it, and I think that helps. You do. Yeah, I mean, we always played, when I was at Opelika early in the year, we would play Montgomery schools early on that hot turf, and we always cramped. And so there's a different level to that, no doubt about it.
Is this a good chance for people like Jay to get looked at? Because there are probably going to be scouts here looking at Davidson and maybe a couple of guys.
Yeah.
Have they approached you about any players?
Yeah, I mean, Garrington Flowers was our linebacker was offered by South Alabama, or not. Well, he hasn't a South Alabama offer, but Alabama State offered this past week, and they offered James Walker, the tackle.
Wow.
And so, we're starting to slowly get that going. And what I'm going to do, and I'm excited about it. There's a group called Preps Nation, and Preps Nation is a organization, a guy that I know close to where I'm from, that does highlight films. And You Follow Football is going to pay for those highlight films for our kids, and he sends them out all over the country. And so after the Greenville game, I've got about 12 kids that we've identified, our seniors, that I think have a chance to play some college football. Again, 12 is a big number. Well, we're going to give them an opportunity. We're going to do our best and help them with that. And we're going to send those films out to different places, and we'll just see if we get any bites. It's our job as coaches to promote our kids. Period. And now we don't give scholarships, but we'll fight for them and give them the best opportunity to get one. Help them with their grades and those kind of things to make sure they're on track and make sure they go on visits and go to these games where they're invited to go. Because I am getting a bunch of letters, for kids wanting them to come and visit and go to games, and that's very common this time of year. The recruiting side of it will pick up later when the dead period's over. When they can have contact periods, we'll get a lot of coaches in here at that point.
Do you tend more to deal with coaches, or you tend more to deal with assistant coaches?
Mostly assistants. Mostly they do all the recruiting. Most time the head coaches come around after Christmas. You'll see Coach Malzahn and Coach Saban and those guys, which is exciting. I mean, Coach, it's nice to see those guys, and it's cool to have them in your school. It's good for your school, and I hope we have some. I don't know how big, but we'll have some head coaches come through here, I'm sure.
This may be more of a question for Ron, but I mean, is this has to be one of the biggest games in Eufaula in several years?
Oh yeah.
Are you hearing that from faculty or other coaches that's been here with other staff?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be a big one. Anytime I think the last region championship was 2010, and so anytime you are playing for that's big. Again, yeah, it's. I only won one. I was only part of one region championship at Opelika in 8 years.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Take, for example, the pictures you get at Trustmark's Deposit Express ATM. See, Deposit Express prints pictures of all your deposited checks right there on your receipt, so you can be 100% certain that you entered everything correctly. No doubt, no wondering, no worries. And I can sum up that feeling with just one word: cool.
Trustmark Bank, member FDIC.
So it's a big, even for a storied program like that and then one like this, it's been 5 years since a region championship. So they're not easy to come by. It's not an easy thing to be.
That's shocking.
It is.
You only played for one at Oklahoma.
It is, but they're just so hard to get. There's always a team in your region, just like Greenville, that's really good, that you're going to have to play at a high level to beat. And so it's just always like that. It just is. And I told the coaches, I always do a deal on Sunday when I always come in pretty early, and you go to early service at church and come in and do some work, and I always have an itinerary for Sunday for the guys, and I always put a thought on the bottom of it. My thought this week was enjoy the moment. Prepare the best you can, but you got to enjoy this. Because they're not very common. Now, that doesn't mean we don't go to work and give our kids a chance to win, but it just means it's okay. I think sometimes as coaches, we put our nose down so hard and grind that we forget that this is first a game, and that secondly, it's just a good moment for our kids. This is our senior class's first opportunity to play in a game of this magnitude, and especially for it to be at home. I think is a really big deal, and I want to enjoy the moment, because listen, I'm a listener. When I go to coaching clinics and things, I get around the best coaches I can find and just listen. And one of the things that was said, I heard a coach tell me one time that his first year as a coach, he was able to play for a state championship as an assistant, his very first year, and he didn't get to do that for 20 years after that. So enjoy. Now we're not there, obviously, but you still enjoy this, that we put ourselves in this situation. It's okay to enjoy the fact that we're having a big game here, because you can do both. I think you can enjoy it and at the same time work your tail off to give your kids a chance. Another thing that we're going to do, obviously I might be getting ahead here, Ron. You usually talk about this, but we need the fans here, and I know they will be. And so what we're going to do at the school, we're going to sell T-shirts. We ordered 500 T-shirts, and we're going to sell. They just say, "We are Eufaula," and they're white, and we're going to try and white out the whole stadium. I thought it would be something that would be cool. It's not a gimmick type thing. I just think it looks uniform, and I want our student section to be in all those T-shirts. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sell those T-shirts starting Thursday for $10, but you get a ticket with it. So you get a T-shirt and a ticket for $10. That is about the best I can do. Football's going to lose money on this, but I don't care. I want them there. And we need our student section there. We need people there early. Like I said, the atmosphere pregame should be electric. I mean, at 6 o'clock, when we really start getting out there and getting our kids on the field, we ought to be full. I mean, really, and we haven't done that yet. I say it every week, but we need to have a full stadium at 6 o'clock. When you start. And I think it will be full. The stadium's going to fill up. Greenville's going to fill that away side. I mean, I feel like they'll travel for a region championship because, again, they're undefeated number 4 in the state. They're going to travel, and we've got to match that. And so I'm excited about that. And that, again, the reason for the whiteout is just to get us selling those T-shirts and put our students in the same thing. But anybody can come in and buy those shirts. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a student. If you want to buy them, you can come buy them along with a ticket. And so we're going to try and pre-sale as many as we can. But again, we do expect a big crowd, and we hope the kids deserve it. With the effort what they put in for the past 6 months, they deserve to have a big crowd, and they deserve this moment.
When you look at this game, and when the schedule came out that the general public really got to looking at it, Mark and I could be out eating breakfast, and we'd have 5 or 6 people coming to the table talking to us about football. And one of the things that every one of them said, they were looking forward to the Greenville game.
Yeah, I mean, I was familiar with Greenville back when Ben Blackman went there, Coach Blackman's brother, Brian's brother, and we're friends now and that kind of deal. And he kind of got his start at Greenville, and they were good, and they actually came to Opelika and played us in a spring game. I knew they had athletes. We had done some things in the summer with them to see them. And they're so similar to us, and they're so similar to Opelika in their athleticism. They are very skilled and play at a high level. But you knew on the schedule, Ron, you're right. When you look at the schedule, you go, okay, well, you got Charles Henderson and Greenville back to back. That's going to be your little stretch right there, where you're really going to have to play well. But we are, and we're where we need to be. All our goals are still in front of us, and theirs too. So again, it's an exciting time.
And it's good that it's in this part of the season rather than the first 2 games.
Yeah, we're playing better. I mean, there's no doubt, and that's all we want to do. We don't worry about the scoreboard. We really don't. I mean, I of course look at it to figure out situational football, but I don't worry about that. I mean, we play at a high level and as best we can, and we don't worry about the score. We just try every play to improve, and every day and every week, and we are improving. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. Our kids are sold out. They're bought in to what we're doing. I feel like now it's not, the newness is gone, all that stuff. We're getting the real feelings of the kids. And, our coach, I can't say enough about our coaching staff. I'm blessed. A lot of these guys I did not know when I first took this job, and somehow it worked out that we were able to get the right pieces in place, because I feel 100% confident in our plan and in our coaches executing that plan. And so I'm as proud as I can be, standing, kind of sitting back and watching them work and watching our kids. The program's going in the right direction. There's no doubt. There's a lot of optimism throughout our community. Again, it's just, I keep saying it, but it is an exciting time. The energy's high, and I know that our kids will produce. And again, I don't know about winning and losing. I'm not concerned with that. I'm just concerned about the level that we play at and the improvement that we make from Charles Henderson, that we fix the issues that we had in that game, and that we just put our best foot forward going into this game Friday night.
This team has put a lot of effort into getting where they're at right now. This isn't something that they got by lazing around on the sideline.
No, we still lift 3 days a week. We practice for 2 hours on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're at all kind of functions throughout the week, whether it's a team dinner. They pour an unbelievable amount of time into it. They're on Tuesday night, they'll be study halling it until about 8 o'clock. I mean, there's just a lot that they do. They meet twice in the week in the morning, on Tuesday and Thursday morning early. And so they again, I don't know if we will win, but we'll deserve to, and that's all we can ask. We'll put, every bit of energy and effort into playing our best game, and we'll see what happens.
I would really be surprised if this team didn't put forth a Class A effort.
They will. They're going to play hard. There's no doubt. That's not a question. We'll play hard. We'll just see if we can execute and that we can match, their athleticism. We'll see. From
the start of the season to this point, in the coaching changes that you've made, have you made any differences in who's in the box and who's down the field?
No, I mean, I'm one of those. I just don't believe in changing during the year. I know that last year I think here they had a scheme change in the middle of the year, and they did that because they felt like they needed to, and I just don't want to change. Week to week, we don't change our roles or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We feel good about where we are, and I just think if you keep doing the same thing and you just get a little better at it every day, and we've now specialized in each of our positions and where we are, and we feel good about the operation behind it all. There's always little things that we work on organizationally that we try and get better, but we feel good about the operation right now.
I know it's really neat dealing with the central office on other things, the excitement over Eufaula High School football this year. So glad to see it.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, and this is not lip service again. We're very fortunate, and our coaches know, and our communities understand. And I know there was some things, before, but we're very fortunate to have the administrative staff that we have from every level, because they're incredibly supportive of what we're doing. And that's all you can ask for as a coach. I mean, Mr. Hawkins and I talk a lot, and we're close, and he allows me to work, and there's nothing like knowing that your principal or your boss is behind you, and he is, and there's a trust factor there, I think, that has to go in, and and I said this in my interview, I'm never going to do anything to embarrass this school. Ever, and so I think there's a level of trust, and he and I are building that over time, and that is huge. That I know that he's supportive of what we're doing, because ultimately we're doing this for these kids. I mean, this is not, there's no. I tell our coaches that you need to check your ego. I mean, it's not. We're high school football coaches. Okay, we're not up there making millions of dollars with Coach Malzahn and those guys. We know where we are. And so just go to work. Just have a blue collar mentality, and just go to work every day and give our kids a chance, because they deserve it.
And the team sees the work effort that the coaches are making.
I think so.
That encourages them.
I think so. I think but again, they're right there with us. Our kids are working harder than we are. I promise you. So we're just blessed to be in a good place.
Kyle, anything else?
Just looking forward to it. This ought to be a good one.
I know it's going to be. Coach, I really appreciate the time this morning. We want to remind everybody, be here. Now, the game time's at 7, but we're trying to get people here in this stadium by 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And if we work on that, I think we can do that.
Yep.
I think that we can develop the mentality that when the other team sees all this going on, they're going to go, whoa,
yeah,
they're behind us.
That's right. And remember to wear white.
If it's just a solid white T-shirt,
that's all, yep.
That's all it takes.
Yes.
It's a great idea. I think that it's something that could become a tradition around here.
Could be.
Because it will give people that feeling
right.
of success. But anyway, besides the people being here, anything else you want to say?
That's the main thing is, our kids deserve that people come and watch them play, and I hope we pack it out early.
Well, Coach, it only leaves us one thing to say on the Coach's Corner. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers.
Ladies, unlock the cash value in your jewelry box. Sell your gold on Dale Road. We buy gold jewelry, bent or broken, at Eufaula Flea Market, 354 Dale Road.
Sell your gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road. Mr. Pond buys gold on Dale Road. Mr. Pond buys gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road. Sell your gold on Dale Road.